Okay, I am here today doing a review from Memoria Press and their product, The Story of the 13 Colonies in the Great Republic set. But before I get to that, I'm going to scroll over here to show you my disclaimer, just to give you all the mumbo jumbo that I have to give you in order to do this review for the schoolhouse review, for the homeschool review crew. And I wanted to also tell you that Memoria Press is a family-run publishing company, and it produces simple and easy-to-use classical Christian education materials for home and private schools. It was founded by Cheryl Lowe in 1994, and you notice here that I am over at their website. So this is the Memoria Press website. It gives you an overview of what classical education is if you aren't familiar with classical education. And the definition is long, but it's the cultivation of wisdom and virtue through the study of the liberal arts and the great books. And that basically sums it up. But you can read more about what classical education is on their website. And then down here, it tells you what their 4 things are that they really strive to utilize on their website. Classical content, which is a thorough study of Latin forms. A thorough study of Latin forms the foundation of classical education. And so Memoria Press introduces your students to the greatest thinkers of the Western tradition through the classic books. And then proven methods. I'm sorry, I can't speak this morning. 500,000 homeschoolers around the world have used this curriculum, and it's currently being used in 650 schools across the country. A Christian worldview and complete packages. So they give you everything you need to do your curriculum. Now, the product I reviewed in particular, like I said, was The Story of the 13 Colonies in the Great Republic set. And they combine Gerber's The Story of the 13 Colonies in the Great Republic into one volume. It makes it a perfect one-year survey of American history for the middle school years. Our edition of this text has been heavily edited to make it more concise. And so this was the product that I was able to review. Now, this product is designed for students in grades 5 through 8. So I want to tell you how I utilize that product, but I want to come over here to my counter where I have my book set out. So first of all, this is the actual text that the students read. And that is separated into basically short chapters. So here's chapter 21, and there's chapter 22, and chapter 23, and so on. And the student can read the chapters that they are supposed to. So this one is on How America Got Its Name, The Fountain of Youth, and French and Spanish Quarrels. So they read those 3 chapters in the book, and then they have questions to answer here. And it looks like my son did not get this section done, but he got every other section done here. And so these are the lessons that we did. We made it through, I believe, 5 or 6. During the review time. So basically what I chose to do, this, like I said, this product is for grades 5 through 8. In my house, I have 5 students who meet that criteria. I have my sons who are going into 5th grade, and my niece Kari, who's going into 5th grade. And then I have my niece Anna, who's going into 7th, and my nephew Gabe, who's going into 8th. So I had 5 students eligible to use this program. However, for the review, I was asked to just pick 1 student to do it. So what I did was I picked my my son Isaac, who's the oldest going to be 5th grader I had, to see how well this fit him. However, I also asked Gabe and Anna to sit in on 1 lesson, about 1.5 lessons, to sort of see the difference in how things were handled between the 5th graders and the 8th graders. So after doing that, I want to tell you that I think this program works for 5th through 8th grade. I think you could actually even use it for a 9th grader or a 10th grader as well. I think my Isaac is a pretty intelligent 5th grader, and sitting down with me, he was able to handle this fine. He was able to read the text, no problem by himself, but sometimes the questions were a little too complicated for him, or he just couldn't find them in the text. So what we did, in comparison, I should say, to Gabe and Anna, who sat through 1 lesson with me, who were able to find the questions much easier, finish the lessons in much less time. So you're definitely going to see a swing based on how old your student is. So what we did was we would read the 3 chapters. I actually let him read them on his own. And then he would come over to his book and write down the answers, do work through the questions. There was an enrichment section at the end of each lesson too, which was really interesting. And we did those. We did not always do the composition that was on there, but we always did the map and the timeline aspect. Now, here's what I really liked about this. First of all, I've got a teacher's guide, which is always good to see if he's on the right track. So for each lesson, I can simply turn to the teacher's guide and sit down with him. And that's what I did. I would sit down with my teacher's guide. We'd have the book between us, and he would have his answer guide, and we would work through them together. Like I said, if he was in 8th grade or 7th grade, I think he could work through these totally on his own. So you really have to decide how you want to do that. Now, the next thing that was really, really cool, and this is one of the things I really liked, was for every lesson that he did, there were a few questions that he would answer. Now, I did not have him fill in the answers to these questions, and I want to tell you why. But so he would answer the questions. Now, we only got through chapter 13 or so in the book, which was down over here. So we would have only completed 1 page. I had him not write down the answers so that he could use this to review. Now, you could do this in a variety of ways. You could have him write down the answers or have a copy that he could review. But I asked him to leave it blank. So each day we would go through the questions that we were up to. So for the first chapters that he did, there were only like 3 or 4 questions. And then you added 3 or 4 questions. And so you're basically drilling yourself on the questions. And then I have the teacher's guide, and I would actually let him use the teacher's guide and check as he asked himself the questions, how he was doing on it. I'm sorry, I got a lot of sun this morning in the house. And so here's the answers to the questions. Now, one of the reasons that I really loved this is that when I was a student in college, the way I studied was by making myself questions. That was how I studied my materials. I would make a question and answer the question, and that's how I studied it. So anyways, very interesting aspect of it as well. So basically, that's how we would do our lesson. He would read the book, then we would do this, and then we would go over the questions, and he would study the questions throughout the week. We did, I can't remember exactly how many of these chapters we were doing a week, but the questions he would study throughout the week, and then we'd have a little quiz on them. What we also did was we used Quizlet. If you haven't used Quizlet, that was really cool. That's an online quiz program that we just used where we would plug in the questions and he could answer them himself. And that was another way we studied that and studied how to do this. So you've got the 200 questions. I'll show you all 200 questions. And in addition, in the back, we had a timeline of American history that's back here and notable quotes. There's all kinds of different quiz stuff. Presidents of the United States. Again, I did not have him write in this one, basically, so we could use this for review, but you can absolutely have them write in this one. And then I did have them write in this book, and this goes with it for that. So that was the extent of the program. And I want to just zip back over here. I want to tell you too, though, I want to encourage you with the fact that there were many other programs, many other products from Memoria Press that my fellow crew members reviewed. They reviewed a Simply Classical Writing Book 1. They reviewed a Simply Classical Writing Book 2. They reviewed Simply Classical Spelling Book 1, Simply Classical Spelling Book 2, and then, of course, the product I did, and then the Wars of the Jews. The writing books were for 1st through 3rd grade, and so were the spelling. This one was 5th through 8th grade, and then the War of the Jews was 9 plus, grades 9 plus. These products are great. I have reviewed for them before, and I'm always impressed. This is high quality materials. The book is a high quality book. And so I want to encourage you to go. You'll see it under the video on my blog, and then you'll also see it under the video in the description, how you can read the reviews from fellow crew members. And I really encourage you to do that as you're looking at my review. And don't just stop with this product. They have special needs products, but they have tons and tons, and you can shop by grade. Man, I can't speak this morning. Shop by grade, shop by subject, shop by school, shop as a school, shop by package. So if I go into shop by grade, you can just look in the various grades. So I have students going into 5th grade, and you can see you can buy the entire 5th grade curriculum here. There's a 5th grade read aloud set, 5th grade supplemental reading, and then all the various products that you can buy just by the piece as you go through them. And I have reviewed, I have to look at back at my blog, but numerous times I have reviewed for this company, and I really love their materials. So that is the product today, and I should tell you how it was received. It was generally received very well by Isaac and by my niece and nephew when they tried the program one day, just to give me some insight. It was not boring. The reading was enjoyable. Sitting down and discussing it with me was something fun for Isaac. Well, as fun as school ever is for any of my kids. And the 200 questions was actually super fun. I think the kids really enjoyed going through those and challenging themselves with that, with those questions. So we give this a huge thumbs up, and I would definitely use this again in the future. How it would work if I wanted to purchase this for additional students is I would just purchase the consumable workbooks that they write in, and I would keep my first copy, my hard book and my teacher's books. So I would just be purchasing the consumable. So the price will go down as you add multiple students to it. So that's it from here in Bulls Gap, Tennessee. And I hope you enjoyed this product. And as always, feel free to message or email me if you want to get more information on the products that I was showing you. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.